Oh wow. Oh wow. Very sad news. Very sad to hear about this. Actual name is Grady. Get it? Grady Demon Wilson, who played Stanford on one of the most iconic shows in history, which set the tone for TV shows that featured primarily or an all black cast. And the show passed away. His son reports that he passed away from complications due to cancer, and he was 79 years old now. Um, Sanford and Son, I remember watching Sanford and Son when it went to syndication because I was born in '74, so before my time. I know that they um, put the show back on there for like in the early '80s, and I think it was replaced by Give Me a Break, starring Neil Carter. But yeah, I remember watching the show in syndication area, living in Watts, if I'm not mistaken. And the son, you know, character for never can make rash decisions at time. But this was a show that was into social issues, some situations pertaining to blacks versus their non-black or white counterparts. So I learned a lot from watching that show, and I can tell you right now, um, probably this day and age, where you know people are nothing but offended by everything. This show probably wouldn't have lasted because you have this thing now where, like I said, people take everything and turn it into a subject matter for talking points for whatever the situation may be, just to put out a narrative, whatever the narrative could be that they're pushing at the time. Because you had Fred Sanford, you had the sister-in-law Esther, and the reason why that show probably wouldn't have a platform on regular TV is because of the content. Because Fred and Esther used to be ragging on each other, and then Fred would also he would also threaten Esther with violence, saying, "I'm gonna give you five. I'm gonna give you five of these." And then the sometimes the way the manner he would talk to Lamont, he would call him a big dummy and all that kind of stuff. Because you know now you have the era where you have to be politically correct and all this kind of stuff. And I mean, well, it just depends. So yeah, but I grew up loving this show, and it will always be, it would always have a spot deep in my heart because I learned a lot of things watching that show. And Red Fox was a very funny comedian until his untimely passing. And Demond Wilson, he continued to act, but he didn't. It was periodically. You know, I know they tried to do a new version, I think, of the Odd Couple that I think featured him, if I'm not mistaken. They tried to do a black version of the Odd Couple. I think the show only ran for like I think for like maybe one season, if that. He he would make appearances periodically, but to to me, you didn't see him enough. I don't think he acted on a consistent basis to the point that was his main source of income. I know he made an appearance on Girlfriends where he played one of the characters, estranged father. So you would see him and stuff periodically, but as far as seeing stuff on a regular basis, no. And at the time, I kept a close ear. to television film, which I still do to a certain degree. But yeah, I didn't see him in very many projects, you know, after Sanford and Son concluded. But like I said, you would see him periodically and stuff. So, with that being said, I just want to take time out to say RIP and appreciate the hard and good work you did as far as making that show you know, a iconic, legendary show. Shaboom Town, I'm out.